Yo, what's up, Virgo? Welcome to your monthly forecast for the month of September 2018, Virgo. You might be doing your own thing a lot throughout the month of September 2018 because you have the Hermit card, which is in the reverse. So, that would suggest that you are going to have a lot of moments where you are going to be on your own, or, if you do have people around you, you kind of feel like, I don't know, you sort of feel like you're still doing your own thing, sort of. So it's going to resonate differently for all of you. Now, if the Hermit card was in the upright, then it would suggest that, yeah, you're doing your own thing. And, even though you're doing your own thing, you're doing it like in a way that it's a healthy amount of time that you're on your own. But because it's in the reverse, and I'm not saying all of you, but, some of you might be doing your own thing a little bit too much. So you might want to try to involve yourself with groups of people more than you have. If you're kind of like shutting yourself in a little bit, maybe you want to just, come out of that a little bit in the month of September 2018. I'm not saying that's the way it's resonating for all of you, but for some of you it might be. Now, for others of you, this could be more about, if you're not spending all this time by yourself, then, it's more about you're being rigid, Virgo. So, things can't always be Virgo's way. It can't always be Virgo's way or nothing. So some of you might need to be a little bit more flexible. Now, for your challenge for the month of September 2018, you actually have two cards that came out. You have the Moon card and you have the World card. And some of you Virgos have a little bit of fear about something, which would be indicative of the Moon card. So I don't know what you're fearful about, but, potentially some of that energy is coming up a little bit for you guys in the month of September 2018. For others of you, it's more about a lack of completion. So, when the world comes up as a challenge, it would suggest a lack of completion of some sort. If the world card was in a, somewhere else on the board in the upright position, it would suggest that finally something is coming to conclusion. But, it seems that, if there's been an ongoing situation, Virgo, that's been, going on and on and on, unfortunately, in the month of September 2018 with the World card, in the challenge position, it would suggest that, whatever the ongoing situation is in your life, it's not going to come to conclusion in the month of September 2018. Now, others of you are unable to get closure with something. So the World card in the challenge position would suggest a lack of closure. So I feel like that pertains to those Virgos specifically, not all of you, but for those of you who are on your own right now, you're single, and, maybe you were with somebody who you really liked, but now you're single and you're not with that person anymore. Maybe some of you are having a little bit of a tough time letting that person go, and I feel like that's sort of consistent with the energy that's crowning your reading. So you have the Five of Cups at the top of your reading, and I'm not saying all Virgos in the month of September 2018 are going to take a partial loss of some sort, but some of you might. And it's only, if you do, it's only a partial loss. You have 3 cups knocked down, but you still have 2 standing. So make good with what you have still, Virgo. It's only a partial loss for some of you. It's definitely not going to resonate like that for all of you. Now, you do have the Ace of Cups as your distant past energy, and it's in the upright position. And, sometimes with these past cards, with the distant past, it's like it's either the energy is coming back into, the month of September 2018 for the month that I draw the card for. Otherwise, if not, then, it's just indicative of a past situation. So, Ace of Cups would suggest new love. So, did some of you just think back to that moment where you found, somebody who you were with, who you were really happy with? Maybe some of you are going to be like reminiscing about that a little bit. And maybe that has to do with the lack of closure, because maybe some of you really were in love with somebody and you're not with them anymore. Or maybe you're headed, maybe if you are with that person, maybe it's headed towards a situation where you do got to take the partial loss there. But for others of you, the Ace of Cups in the upright, if that energy is coming back in the month of September 2018, and that's good. And that's, you know, if you're trying to get a new love life situation off the ground, if you're interested in somebody, Virgo, and you want to get your love life situation off the ground, then, you know, hopefully that energy with the Ace of Cups there will be able to help you out with that. Now, for recent past, you have the Ten of Wands, which is in the reverse position, and then you also have the Eight of Wands, which is indicative of a delay because it's in the reverse. Otherwise, you know, if that Eight of Wands was in the upright, there would be a swift change of some sort. But, you know, once again, this is in the recent past position. So, you know, are these energies going to come back in the month of September 2018, or is it just indicative of what was happening in your life in the recent past? So, I mean, with the Ten of Wands in the reverse, it would suggest that, I mean, look how much work this person has. They have so much work that they're just toppling over. I mean, you know, here's the Ten of Wands upright, but he's just, the work is so much. So it's just like toppling over. It's way too, who can help you out with that, Virgo? I mean, if that workload is coming back in the month of September 2018, I mean, that's just not right, Virgo. You shouldn't have to bear that load yourself. You should have, you know, somebody should take some of this work from you and help you out with it. It's not fair that you have to do all this work on your own. Now, for others of you, here we go with the Eight of Wands in the reverse would suggest a delay of some sort. So maybe in your recent past you had a delay of some sort. If not, then that energy is going to, the recent past energy is going to come back. Maybe a delay of some sort with something in the month of September 2018 for some of you. For your near future, you have Knight of Swords in the reverse and Queen of Swords in the reverse. Now, right off the bat, some Virgos have important air sign people in their life, and when I say air sign, I mean like it's air signs are Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. So, you know, who you Virgos have an important air sign in your life? And like I said, with the tarot, it doesn't really matter about the gender of the card. It doesn't matter if it's a queen or knight or whatever. If you're not familiar with tarot, it's not about the gender, it's about the suit. And these are people who are air signs. So whether they're male or female, the Queen of Swords or Knight of Swords, these could be, you know, this could be somebody important in your life who is a Gemini, or somebody who's a Libra or Aquarius potentially for some of you. For some of you, this might be a romantic interest. For others of you, this is some other important person in your life, somewhere in your life. So think about it, Virgo. Where in your life is there an important Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius? So one of those three air signs potentially for some of you. Now, because the cards are upside down, you know, potentially there's a difficult time making a connection for some of you, especially like if you're interested romantically in an air sign, then maybe you're just having a difficult time making the connection. So what is the reason for that? And maybe that's why some of you have a little bit of fear, like especially, you know, if you are interested in connecting with the air sign, you know, maybe you do have some fear that you won't be able to connect with them. Now, if it doesn't have to do specifically with an air sign, which obviously it's not going to have to because not all Virgos have air signs in their lives that are important, then these could be the characteristics of the card that, you know, you're going towards these characteristics because these cards are a part of your near future in the month of September 2018. And a Knight of Swords in the reverse would suggest some of you are a little bit opinionated, so you might want to dial that back a bit. Others of you, Queen of Swords in the reverse. That would suggest, you know, Virgo, you are an intelligent person, but I'm not saying all of you are, but some of you might be using your intelligence in a way that's sort of cruel. All right, so that might be resonating like that for some of you. So who are you? Like, you are a smart person, but you're not using that intelligence in the right way. It might be somewhat cruel to somebody else potentially for some of you. Knight of Swords in the reverse. Some of you could be hasty. You're too hasty. Right down here, you have the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. I wish that card would have came out in the upright for you, but it's in the reverse. And the Ten of Pentacles is all about the combination of home, family, and money. So, you know, if that card was in the upright, yeah, home, family, and money would be balanced. Everything would be going well with those aspects of your life. But because the card is in the reverse, that would suggest there's some kind of issue there. So think about it, Virgo. What maybe does it have to do with your home life? Is there somehow money and home life might be the combination of the two might be an issue, or family, or potentially, or somehow maybe this has to do with property for some of you. if it doesn't specifically have to do with the monetary aspect of it, maybe some of you are just having some complications in your home life. Maybe you're just not completely satisfied with your home life. Maybe some of you are having some issues with family, maybe. So think about it. Who in your family are you potentially having some issues with? Now, right above that, you do have the Four of Pentacles in the upright, and that's a great card to have because that would suggest financial stability. So just because you're having money and the combination of money and family issues doesn't mean that you're not having, financial stability somewhere else in your life. Or, this is definitely a great card to have. This is financial stability, financial security. And, for some of you, if you really don't feel that way about yourself, then this is society's perception of you. So, society does see you as someone who has your shit together when it comes to your money. So right above that, we have the Ace of Swords in the upright, and it's right next to the Ace of Wands in the upright. But the only thing about, these cards are great cards when they're in the upright, but the only thing about that is it's in the hopes and fears part of the board. So it's like Ace of Swords is a victory. Ace of Wands is the coming to fruition of a new beginning or the birth of a new creative idea for some of you. But the fact that it's in your hopes and fears position would suggest that, some of you are a little bit fearful that you're not going to have, here we go again, here's the Moon card with the fear. So, some of you might fear that you're not going to have the victory that you want to have in the month of September 2018. Some of you are a little bit fearful that you're not going to be able to get a new beginning off the ground with the Ace of Wands in your fear section. So you hope that you have a victory. You hope you can get it. You hope that you can get a new beginning off the ground in the month of September 2018. You're fearful that you won't. Right above that is the Hierophant as your outcome. So the Hierophant would suggest that, so this would be you, and that's a great card to have as your outcome because, some of you are the conveyors of knowledge. So some of you are teachers of some sort. So see, that's you, and then here's your audience right here. And if you can see these keys right here, you hold the keys to unlocking the potential of others. So, I'm not saying all Virgos are in a role where they're communicating to an audience of some sort or maybe to a group of people, and it doesn't have to be like in a setting where you're in a presentation setting. It could be like anything. You could just be in some position where you have the ability to communicate knowledge to others and others have the opportunity to absorb that. And once again with the keys right here, that's a great thing, Virgo, because you're unlocking, you have talent and you're sharing your talent with others and you're sharing information with others that's helping them to unlock their potential. And, this card's somewhat spiritual, and obviously not all Virgos are totally spiritual. If you're watching this video, then maybe you are somewhat spiritual, but, this card could be indicative of some Virgos, who are really getting into the spiritual side of life. So there is a big spiritual element that comes along with this right here, Virgo. For some of you are really getting interested in it. And, I'll go back to the Hermit card a little bit because Hermit card in the reverse, the Hermit card is somewhat spiritual because if you see this light right here, it's a light. This would suggest the spiritual aspect of this card with that light that he's holding. But the fact that the card is upside down, maybe, some of you might have a difficult time absorbing the spiritual information. Now, I just want to talk about one more thing real quick because I did discover the use of life path numbers within tarot. No other tarot reader has ever done this before. I am the one who discovered it, and tarot cards 1 through 9 are all life path numbers that you can identify by using someone's date of birth, and in a numerological sequence you can identify who these people are in your life. And you have a couple life path numbers in this reading, and it's very specific because not all Virgos are going to have, well, here's the life path number 5 is the Hierophant, and here's the life path number 9 is the Hermit card. So for those of you Virgos who are out there, if you're wondering if there's anybody in your life who is the life path number 9 who's important, or life path number 5, then all you have to do is go to your YouTube search bar, you type in my name, Gregory Furlan, and how to use life path numbers with tarot. So Gregory Furlan, how to use life path numbers with tarot in your YouTube search bar. Watch the tutorial I recorded. I give you the numerological sequence that you can use. You take someone's date of birth to find out if their life path number, what their life path number is, and there's a couple life path numbers here. So, If you're not the life path number 5, then maybe somebody in your life is who's important, and they might be the outcome. And that's really specific because that's not going to resonate like that for all of you Virgos, or potentially life path number 9. Now, to jump to astrology, you have a new moon in your sign. So a new moon in the sign of Virgo on September 9th. So that's some fresh new energy that's coming into your life that has to do with matters of self, Virgo. And that's interesting because the central card here, the central energy, is the number 9. So the Hermit card is the 9th card of the major arcana, which is really amazing because you have that new moon in your sign on September 9th. And for some of you, that might precipitate a new beginning. For others of you, that might precipitate some development, new developments regarding matters of self. The way a new moon works is it hits on the date of its occurrence. In this case, it's September 9th. The 6 months that follow that new moon, then you're going to start seeing the developments of that new moon, the products of that new moon start to come in. Now, you also have Saturn, which is going to be coming out of its retrograde, and Pluto also coming out of its retrograde in the month of September. So both planets are going to start to move direct again, and both planets are in a part of the sky that has to do with your love life. So if things felt a little bit stuck on the love front, then maybe things will start to get a little bit smoother now that those planets transiting your sector of true love are starting to move forward. But thank you for watching this video, Virgo. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe, share, and like. I'm also on Instagram as Gregory Furlan Astrology. I post daily astrology there every day. If you want to give me a follow, then just head to Gregory Furlan Astrology. Thank you for watching. Have a great month, and I'll see you next time.